It's time for Fort Worth Musical Moments. Join us now as Steve Markward takes a look at the music and the artists who made the city's vibrant musical legacy what it is today. And we're off and running. Another Fort Worth Musical Moments. Brent Adams along with Steve Markward, and big doings this weekend here, Steve, in the Stockyards in Fort Worth. And we got a special guest with us here to talk all about it.
Yeah, Brent. Well, there's always a lot of stuff going on in the Stockyards. Anytime you go down there these days, it's even on a supposedly typically slow night, what used to be slow night, it's bustling down there. I mean, it's the center of all activity in Fort Worth. Everything's kind of shifted from Sundance Square down to the Stockyards. It's amazing how they've transformed that area in a short amount of time. I can tell you this, and our guests can probably agree that Fort Worth, over Austin, which used to be known as the live music capital for country music in Texas and in the United States, Fort Worth has now overtaken that moniker, I think. So lots to talk about, and excited to bring our guest in and learn more about what she's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of Sundance Square, we're going to have a special event that you shot some video of. We'll be sharing later in the show. So hope everybody will stick around with that to get you in the Christmas spirit. But without further ado, we want to welcome in Cynthia Anderson, who's here representing the Texas State Songwriter Championship, which is going to be held at Horus Hall in the Stockyards on Saturday. Cynthia, welcome in.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm pretty excited to be here. I'm nervous, but
no need to be nervous. We're just going to have some fun talking about this. We've been hearing a lot about it here the past couple of weeks. I guess, first of all, if you could tell us a bit about how the championship got started and how you got involved with it.
Yeah, absolutely. The championship was started and founded by an artist who just kind of got tired of listening to cookie cutter songs and not having, I mean, the journey is a hard journey for everyone. We all know and are aware of the Robin Williams story, and comedy and music kind of come from the same broken place a lot of times. And I know that we were touching base about some things earlier. They kind of get that same thing whenever they're having a hard time and they're struggling and they try to reach out for even just reassurance, they're told to get a real job. So he has developed something that was basically just a networking opportunity for artists to get together and be able to collaborate on stuff and meet each other and provide tips and tricks back and forth. And he's just piloted this thing. He piloted it for eight years. I took over managing it in the beginning of this year and just officially took over ownership in November so that he can focus on music and I can focus on this, and we can both just be 100% in what we're doing instead of halving both directions. And the funny thing is that he begged me to do this for a year, and I told him, I know this is for me, but the timing is not right. If I lose the opportunity, then it wasn't meant to be. And he just kept trucking along. And then I was actually doing a bar rescue at a venue that is all over TikTok. I mean, Wichita Falls is famous for the stabbing that happened at the venue. And I cleaned that place up and ran it for a year. And that's when I first met Ninja, was when I started booking acoustic artists after I fired all the staff and all the clients and started new. Kim Hunter, who actually went on to win the 2022 Texas State Songwriters Championship title, between her and Ninja, they convinced me to quit my job at the bar rescue. She convinced me to be her booking manager. He convinced me to start this amazing journey, and we've been doing it ever since. It's insane how much this year has changed things, because historically it was just whenever he would find a venue, he would throw a songwriters showcase and give everyone a networking and exposure opportunity. And this last year we have been formulating like what had started as a series of competitions has turned into a huge musical movement. And it's the amount of support that we have gained in just the last 3 weeks. It is insane. The first show I hosted was in Bowie, and we had 8 artists confirmed, and we showed up with only 4. And I was beside myself with thinking the venue was going to hate me and it was going to be a horrible show. And I just prayed about it and gave it over to God and was like, hey guys, listen, this is my first show. This is your first show. This is not about the show. This is about something way bigger. It's about building a brotherhood of people supporting each other, and making the changes that need to happen in the industry. I mean, just not too many years ago, they would go spend that $3,000 to $5,000, dump it onto a CD, sell it to all their fans, and make their money back within a couple months. The artists have been conditioned to think that feeding the beast is the proper way to build your brand. And you're not building a brand, you're building their brand. So we are in the process of helping artists. Everybody thinks I've absolutely lost my mind, and I'm starting to wonder myself. I can't tell you how many websites I've built for $100. Typically, I try to do 300, but I do run specials like right now. If artists need it, I'm doing it for $100 until the end of the year, just because I want them to have the opportunity to be prepared for next year. Because these booking managers, like they're doing inventory, they're bouncing people out of the bar, they're dealing with bartenders not showing up and having to cover shifts. If they have a circle of music and they're not trying to add anything else to their busy plate. So when you walk into their venue and you're like, hey, will you book me? Go to this website you've never heard about before. Go to this website everyone uses, because they're not going to go on an Easter egg hunt to find your music when they already have artists on their schedule. And so this helps give them the tool that now their song can be downloaded directly from their website. They're pushing people to their own .com and building the value of their own brand instead of someone else's, and get 100% of the commission off of it. We have virtual tip jars set up. We have drop ship merchandise. A lot of fans would support artists that don't have a huge following if they had merch, but merch is expensive. And I can't tell you how many bands have thousands of dollars of merch sitting in the closet somewhere that nobody's bought. So this gives them the opportunity to have merch available with no out of pocket. Puts all of their social medias in one location and literally builds their name, because you're not telling Joe Smo to go to chasetherabbithole.com. You're telling him to go to your name. Like you're putting that footprint. Repetition is the mother of all learning. You keep telling them your name, it's going to eventually stick, and they're going to look you up. You keep sending them somewhere else. That's where they're going to go when they want to find an artist, not to you. So just kind of educating. We have some amazing, awesome things coming up. We have seminars coming up to where we do business development, because that's what it is. I mean, you're a business. You're a walking, singing, guitar playing business. And a lot of the artists first off, don't know how to run a business. A lot of business owners don't know how to run a business. So we don't fault the artists for not knowing how to run a business, but we are going to teach the artists how to run a business. So we will have like mindset training. The income thermostat is real. And it takes training your mind to be able to break that barrier and get to the next level. Like for instance, this artist, he's never booked more than 4 shows a month. So in his mind, he's never going to get more than 4 shows a month, because he hasn't trained his mind to know that if he puts the effort in, he's going to get more bookings, because he's, the mental blocking is we are our own worst enemy a lot of times. Sales training. A lot of the reasons these venue owners are telling the artists no is because they don't have any closing techniques. They don't have any tie downs. They don't have any rebuttals. They don't have anything. They're just like, hey, I'm cool. Come, can you pay me to, entertain your people? Like that's not like if their presentation, we're going to work on that. Also speech development, because let's face it, most of the artists, if it's not singing and playing a guitar, they're not having a part of it. They don't know how to communicate with the crowd to keep them entertained between songs. I have an amazing storyteller. Justin Pinner and Ninja Cowboys are both amazing storytellers. They both have an amazing following because they relate to their customers while they are performing. So like they play a song, like Justin Pinner, for instance, he'll play a song, but he's going to tell you why he's going to play that song. He's going to tell you why it relates to him, why he felt like you needed to hear it. And then he's going to play the song and he's going to do the same thing for the next one. And it just builds that connection that a lot of people are leaving on the table. And so we're going to work on stuff like that. We have Leaf Shively Band with Steel Record Studios. They are actually from Louisiana, but they do an amazing, they are helping so many Texas artists. It's insane. I've personally watched their Facebook grow like 30,000 followers in the last 4 months. I actually got one of my friends in one of their music videos, and they have, like, obviously they grow that much in a couple of months. They're doing some big things. They're working with big people, and they have some people that are going to come out and speak about like fundamentals of like songwriting and do's and don'ts, and just basically how to be more successful on the journey, what's worked for them, what hasn't, and understand that we are not playing God. There are many different roads to get to the same destination. We are giving you tools. Take from it what you want, take from it what you will. The thing is that we can give you the king of tools, but if you don't unwrap that and start working on it and getting it dirty, like, it's not going to do anything for you. So you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink type theory. We're going to do our part. It's up to the artist to do their part, but we really hope that what we're doing creates a big enough buzz. And speaking of buzz, I absolutely have to throw this out there. If you see what we're doing and you support what we're doing, please absolutely like, comment, and share. Facebook is something else. I'm just going to leave it at that.
That's an understatement.
I have gotten 5 notifications for community standard violations for commenting on our own post that was shared. And the comment that's violating literally says, "Thank you for sharing." Yeah. And they're trying to suppress us, because that's what happens when you're doing amazing things. The devil tries to come in and have a little bit of fun, and we're not going to let him. So we definitely need your guys' help. We look forward to taking this show on the road. And I know that my goal was 5 years, have a tour bus to where artists that don't have gigs on the weekend, we just say, "Hey, what state you want to go to this weekend?" Throw them in the bus and we go. And we do little improv shows. Okay, we see some family having a family reunion in the park and there's like 40 people. "Hey, do y'all mind if we come over and jam with you for a minute?" We have 5 artists. 5 artists get out, each do 1 song. That's 20 minutes. These people are going to be appreciative. They're going to follow us. They're going to support us. And now we have a viral video. Nice. And we look forward to partnering with venues and artists in these states that we travel to be able to host state songwriter championships with our structure that we've developed in other states, to where, like, we do a Friday night Texas showcase, and then Saturday we have Florida State Songwriters Championship, Illinois State Songwriters Championship. And I throw those out because those are probably the first 2 places we're going, because I've lived in both of those places equal parts of my life. I grew up in the Midwest and I thought I knew everything and moved to Florida. So those are the 2 places we want to go, but we really do have a big vision. We have an online artist alliance, which is worldwide artists supporting artists. Rob George Music is currently number 2 on the national radio, and he is, unfortunately, and prayers for him, because he's dealing with that last lap with his mother. And that has blessed us, because he has the opportunity to have time on social media to do this. But what we do is we've developed a group where every single day, like, I'm shocked by the information that's coming out of this group, and it's public information. You don't even have to be an artist or a songwriter or a singer to be in the group. And that's what's one of the most beautiful things about the group, is that we don't judge on who's an artist. If you want to sing, you can sing. we are never, and we're going to support your passion for singing. And we don't care how bad it hurts our ears, because music heals people, right, and music helps people. So it's, to me at first, when I first started watching it, there were a couple things I was like, what the heck is going on? And then I stepped back and looked at the bigger picture, and it's absolutely beautiful, because you go from Rob George singing to this special needs kid who doesn't have anybody, who now is a rock star because Rob George let him sing on his platform. And he's a radio star. And the man has over 700,000 followers on Facebook. Like, it's a big deal. And people are joining us, and they're supporting us because we're including them in the process. What they do, what he has started doing is, whenever an artist in our group releases a new song, sorry guys, I have making sure my kids aren't having an emergency because I have a phone call coming in. So whenever an artist releases a new song, first off, they have a group list of every artist in the group and their Spotify links, and they share that list multiple times a day to all the new followers in the group. So it's pushing all of our people to Spotify, which is the beast that we don't want to feed, but it's a tool that needs to be utilized if used correctly. And that's the platform that all of these people that can make something happen in your life are watching. That's a platform that the radios are watching. That's a platform that the venues are watching. Everybody's fed the beast enough that's who has the attention. And that's who's making the money.
Right.
So that phone call.
That's all right. You bring up this community. How can folks get plugged in? Because I know we've got a lot of songwriters on here, and you kind of led me to where I wanted to go next. Was we're talking about these in-person events here, but a lot of folks are watching this outside of Texas. How can everybody who is a songwriter get plugged into that group? Where do they find it, and how do they get plugged in?
Well, I would rather tell them just to message our page directly so that I can send them our link. Because the way that platform is amazing. It's a free speech platform. They literally stand up for our rights. You almost cannot get in trouble on that platform, which is very refreshing from all of the drama and crazy matrix that we have on every other app. Because the way it's set up is that there's referral. If I give you my referral link, and you go on that platform and start making money, I get a percentage from the referral link. And when I say I mean the Texas State Songwriters Championship, and our vision is going to be able to get a kickback for bringing you there, so that we can use that to boost what we're doing and make things happen faster. So, and it's on our page. I post it all the time. I mean, I've grown over 10,000 followers just this month. And it's just a beautiful, crazy mess, but we're here for it.
Are you operating as a nonprofit, or what is your structure?
We are not currently operating as a nonprofit, no, but we do plan on having a nonprofit attached to our organization. Okay. We are a business, and we are not making any money right now, and we don't plan to in the first 3 years. We plan on putting that 100% back into our artists and our organization.
So you're officially not a nonprofit, but in reality, you're at this point you're not making profits.
Yes.
I see.
We're not government. We haven't told the government that we're a nonprofit yet, but they're going to see when we turn in our taxes that we haven't made anything.
Well, it's obvious, the passion that you have is obvious. I mean, you can see it, you can feel it, and you can hear it.
I have to thank all of the people that tried to suppress me for my passion, because without them trying to make my life hard and get me to quit, I wouldn't be so passionate.
Well, I can tell you that the listeners that I'm seeing chiming in on just one of our portal pages, and we've got a whole bunch of them, but just this one portal, that most of them have experienced what you've experienced in as far as being put in Facebook jail or whatever jail, and it's almost like, okay, well, you're doing something right then, it's sad that that's the case, but
It's incredibly sad. So I gave up trying to understand Facebook when it comes to, oh, you're in trouble. Let me treat you like a 2-year-old and put you in timeout. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, what business model is going to put you in trouble for sharing to too many groups and doing it for free, and then eliminate your availability to give them money so that they can boost your posts? That, I can't make it make sense. So I've given you $500 this year, and since I've tried to do too much free stuff, you're not going to let me give you any more money? Okay.
Perhaps.
And the irony in it is that I can now share to more groups than I could before I get in trouble.
Perhaps what we're experiencing, I suspect, is that double-edged sword of AI, artificial intelligence, where they've got these AI bots out there monitoring, and they just zoom in, and there's nobody thinking through it. Of course, there are human beings at the controls as well, and they don't think like we do. But we could go on and on about that. But I like what you're talking about, because we've had numerous, since I became an independent artist myself and got into this thing. I'm pretty much a late bloomer as far as getting into the music business. But, one of the things I realized real quickly is it's very, very, very difficult as an independent artist to make any money, certainly not a living doing this. And I set out as a business person first to prove that you can make a living as an independent artist. You can quit your day job, but you've got to be willing to do certain things. And you touched on all of that. It's about the brand. It's about building your brand. And you got to do all the things that you maybe don't want to do that points you towards the payoff. For me, the payoff is not so much the money. It's the opportunity to get up and perform live and share that energy with the crowd.
Well, and I do want to point out that that you do not have to sound amazing to be a successful artist.
Yeah.
You don't. You absolutely don't. If you're a storyteller and you can relate with your fans, you're sold. They don't care about how you sound. They care about how many people you're going to bring.
That's right. And it's about everybody's individual experience, because you and I can look at the same sunset but have a different experience, and so it's kind of like with me. I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan, and with Bob Dylan, you either really don't like him or you love him. He goes real deep, and so everybody, that's an extreme example, but yeah, there's certain people that what you've got there, they've been waiting to hear you deliver your music to them, and it may not appeal to everyone, but there's enough fans out there, potential fans out there, to go around.
It's about doing the little things every day consistently, because they will build. They will eventually pay off. It's time consuming and tedious, but it's a part of the process. It's getting to where, like, the old school, like, genuine way of organic way of growing is what's coming back.
Yeah. Kind of grassroots almost. Yeah.
Yeah. Facebook is insane in itself, and it blows my head. Like, I'm telling you that the matrix does not make any sense at all. After you guys reached out to me for an interview, and I shared that Fort Worth events group reached out to me and asked me to take the group over. And so I've been spending time going through the posts, because they haven't been approving posts. They haven't had time for it, to make sure that the events that are in Fort Worth are getting that haven't passed are actually in Fort Worth, that are being shared. And, like, I'm getting them approved if they are coming up, so that people know about them. I cannot tell you how many things that I saw that I did not want to see, that would normally be on some other platform that requires you to be a certain age to see it. But they've been in there since October, since March, and it's still sitting there. It doesn't make sense. Like, that stuff can be so rampant, but I can get in trouble for telling people thank you for sharing our stuff. Not to mention how many messages a day I get from fake Facebook pages telling me that I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Trying to scam me. People that are impersonating the actual app aren't even getting in trouble. But let me thank someone for sharing our vision
Well, it's like there was a comedian I saw on YouTube or somewhere, and he made a statement. He said, it's a sad commentary on our society when a song about cop killing and objectifying women is on the top of the charts, and yet we have literally canceled the Christmas song "Baby It's Cold Outside" because it's offensive, quote unquote. It's like, and then he started comparing the two lyrics, and I won't get into the details, but it's like, oh my gosh, But you mentioned a virtual tip jar. What do you use a certain platform for that?
I mean, you can really create a virtual tip jar with a lot of different ways. I mean, people, and I recommend doing this you absolutely 100% need to have a piece of paper in a frame that has a QR code that goes straight to your Cash App and your Venmo. People tip more on Venmo for some reason, but you need to have a scanner QR code of your Cash App, your PayPal, and your Venmo. Because people, first off, use different brands. Some of them don't like Cash App. Some of them don't like PayPal. Some of them have never heard of Venmo. So you want options. If you give them the options, you're going to get more than just not giving them any options. I mean, the introvert thing is real. We have been so conditioned in this conquer and divide because the government knows that it's the government and not we the people, and they don't want us banding together. So people are afraid to even talk to people. So, and then also they don't want to interrupt your show by coming up to tip you. So you have to have that QR code, because if not, then you're leaving air and opportunity on the table.
You're right. There is a platform out there that kind of solves all those problems in one swoop. It's an alternative anyway. I'm not saying it's the end all to be all or whatever the heck you say, but it's called Pickle Jar. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
Yeah, they're based in Houston, and they're really gaining momentum. And we've been friends with the CEO of that company, but they're growing. So they do everything from the virtual tip jar to where you can put your merch right on, and you create your own page. It's all free. They don't take any commission on that.
Wow. You need to get me connected with them, see how we can collaborate and work together.
Absolutely. And we've got a friend, Mary Mentor, who runs the CMA of Texas, which is largely a community of independent artists that I introduced her through a business affiliation of mine to Pickle Jar back when they were first launching. And so she's been working with them and helping them build this thing and consulting, with her experience working with independent artists. So it could be a really great solution and an easy way to plug in, and you sell your merch there. You can stream your performances there if you want, and do live streams and everything right through that one site. And you can
I wish that I had the time to build websites for free. I honestly do. And most graphic designers charge $250 an hour. They won't touch a website for under 4 figures, and they think I'm absolutely crazy. I have a good friend of mine that won't touch a website for less than $5,000. And when I'm over here doing them for $100, let me tell you, I'm raising some heck over it. But I have partnered with a radio station out of Tampa, and they own a server. So we are working on getting rid of the hosting fees for artists, which will save them $240 a year, because right now my artists are paying $20 a month for hosting. So that's amazing. But it sounds like we could definitely network and make something happen on a bigger perspective with them. But it's funny that you mentioned the CMA of Texas, because a really good friend of mine actually is the 2023 Male Vocalist of the Year for CMA of Texas. And I built his website, Shane in the Nightlife.
Oh, yeah.
So if anybody wants to go see what a one-page website is, that he changed the background photo, so it's not 100% integrally my work, but you can see the fundamentals are all there and the format, and I make them all look different just because we're all different. Like you can't I'm not going to cookie cutter it. So they all have the same tools, but they do not all look the same at all.
Well, Shane Vandiver is a friend of mine, and he's the chief of police in
Chillicothe.
Chillicothe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And the fact that he knows 100% me and still supports me, like, not that I'm a bad person. I just have
he's got a great voice. He's a dead ringer for Ray Price, his vocals, and so yeah, I was there at the CMAs when he got that award. As a matter of fact, not to toot my own horn, but you're looking at the 2020 this year's vocalist of the year right here for CMA Texas. I'm really proud of that.
Oh, heck yeah! Well, congratulations on that award.
But
I actually got heat from him because he said CMA of Texas, and I guess that I didn't realize there was multiple. And so when I made his post, I tagged the Texas Country Music Association because I was like, TCMA, like, apparently that's not
a long story, and I'll have to introduce you to Mary Mentor, and she can explain all that to you, because you need to know Mary. She's a real asset to our community, to put it lightly. So there's all kinds of neat things out there, and it's really cool what you're doing, and I get everything you're doing, and it's I second everything that you're saying here. It's so needed, and
I have been telling all of the artists and everybody who wants to be involved, this is just as much their organization as it is mine, because first off, I wouldn't be an organization without them. And I want them to be able to use the tool to advance themselves as well. So like the artists that are in the competition have the ability to reach out to sponsors, and they get a portion of that directly. They get half of it. So if the sponsor's $200, the artist is going to get $100 towards their journey, and then the organization is going to get $100. For ones that the artists reach out and get to support our vision. And that's because like I said, it's just as much about them as it is about the collaborative whole. And these artists, they need support. And why would I not pass that opportunity on to them? I mean, the competition is literally about them.
So when people show up tomorrow at Horus Hall, what are they going to see?
They are going to see kind of like a back end. They're going to get like an inside view of these artists and their songs. So we're having all of the radio and industry and the artists come at 6 o'clock until 7:45 for radio interviews and networking opportunity. And then at 7:45, we're going to open up the doors for the public. We're going to start our live feed. And that's going to be, there's links on our page to where to go for that. You do have to download the app. I am going to probably record it and then make it available for a donation on our website. And apparently some people forgot I had an interview today. I'm like, stop calling my phone, you're distracting me. We're going to have the video available at, afterwards on the site. The reason that we were going to charge for it is because those proceeds were supposed to go towards the artist's prize money. I have not had a lot of time to reach out to sponsors. We do have a lot of people collaborating for support, but we do not have a lot of monetary support. And the ticket sales are the monetary support. So originally I was planning to have it as pay-per-view $5, because then that $5 goes back to the North Texas Warrior Golf Association and the winners. However, no one wants to leave Facebook land, and have not had really very many people join the other app so that they can view. So we are going to bless the people on that other app who have been relentlessly supporting our artists, liking every video, commenting on every single video that these artists are posting. We are going to view that live for those people for free, because I know that they will tip and support us anyway. And probably more so than they would if they were forced to pay the $5, but we'll record it. And then people who don't want to follow us, where they actually support us and stand up for freedom of expression, can view it at a later time for a tip.
So you have a panel, I guess, of judges that judge these songs. Are these fellow artists, or are they celebrities, or who do you have as judges?
Well, so there are public judges that people are aware of, and then there are judges that are ghosts, because I don't want it to fall just on 3 people judging, but I also don't want, there's always something for people to talk about, and I'm trying to limit my headaches is what I'm trying to say. So the 3 people that are going to be judging for the main titles, these people will be the judges for the main titles. There are additional titles artists can win, because I did pageants for 20 years, and there's a lot invested in doing stuff like this. I mean, these artists are traveling from 4 hours away, $300 a night as an average hotel in Fort Worth.
Down in the Stockyards, it's even more than that. I think it's like 500.
Yeah, and bringing that up, I do want to say that a huge thank you to the Hilltop Barn and Cowboy Just Showed Up Promotions, because I had put our vision and our goals online and said, within 5 years, we want to have a bus and we want to be doing nationwide shows. Within 20 years, hopefully 10, we want to have, an acreage that is close to a metro area, that is a harbor for our artists, that gives them, a place to stay when you need friends, a place to go jam, a place to go record demos, a place to go get exposure, a place because you're down on your luck and you need a place to stay for a couple of weeks. And that was planned to be a nonprofit. However, they reached out to me and were like, Cynthia, we already have the same vision and we're in the current process of building it. Will you just come and join us and cut your 20 years out of the picture and just start it now? And I was like, absolutely. So we originally were just doing the competition. We originally were just doing the competition. Off. Sorry. We were originally just doing the competition, and it got to the point where we were running out of time. I was turning away artists. We had misunderstanding, and I thought we were at capacity, and I was like, there's no way I'm turning away artists and fans. That's not happening. So I reached back out to Cowboy Just Showed Up and was like, listen, can we just make this happen this weekend? Can we just throw a big old pre-party out at the barn, give the artists a place to stay for free so that they're not paying $300 a night, because they're already traveling across the state, and they already get nickeled and dimed on every single corner. And they were like, absolutely, Cynthia. So Friday night, we're actually not going to have Ken Folk. Pray for them, because they just tested positive for COVID. We are going to have the founder, Jimmy Ninja, is stepping in to provide us with entertainment on Friday, which actually works out a lot better than the original plan, because now everybody is going to be able to get tidbits and fun stories from the history of the organization that I don't have. So he's going to be there Friday night. Guests can come out and stay at the barn for $50 a night if they're traveling to town and need a place to stay. So don't let the $300 ticket, hotel room scare you away. We have a place to stay, except for it's going to be like slumber party style. So we have an Airbnb house that's on the property that all of the artists are going to be sardining into. I mean, it's not really going to be that bad, but there's bunk beds. There's 4 bunk beds in each room. And then there's obviously a whole floor, and we have air mattresses that artists have air mattresses, hopefully, that they can bring. They're welcome to bring their camper out, their horse trailer out, sleep in their horse trailer, sleep in their car. We don't care. Just donate $50 a night for what we're doing, because we plan on turning that into basically a miniature Stockyards, and have like a big tiny home village out there with different vendors and all sorts of amazing things. So come out and support it. Support the artist. The artist can stay out there for free. We have Friday night. We're having the live entertainment from our founder and historical information about our show. Saturday during the day, we hope to do a song swap from noon to 4 on our live feed. That will be on the Texas State Songwriter Championship Facebook page. We also plan to have our after party at the barn. And then Sunday, we are honored to have, which is absolutely beautiful because God is 100% in charge of this mission. We have several ministers that are songwriters that are competing in our competition. So we're going to have Sunday morning, we're going to wake up and just have, whatever's led on their heart. We're going to just have a little time of worship and prayer and a couple of worship songs. And then we're going to break into a song circle on Sunday as well. And Sunday is Horus Hall is all ages. You do not have to be 21 to come. It's a private event venue. We did it for a reason. We want bring your whole family. Like this is about family. This is about love. This is about music. This is about supporting the artists and making the changes that need to happen so that, even the Beast is already like, they used to get 9 cents a spin. They get 3 cents a spin. You know how many spins it takes to make back your $5,000 studio fee? A lot.
So I'm a little confused. So you've got a concert or an event Friday night in Cleburne.
Yes.
And then your songwriters competition is in Fort Worth.
Correct.
And then you're going back to Cleburne that night.
Yes.
Okay. So you're back. It's not that. And thanks in large to Chisholm Trail Parkway. Now it's not a bad drive back and forth. But I was trying to figure out the logistics of that. Okay. Interesting.
Well, you probably have more information than I do because I personally have never been to either one of these venues. It's going to be a new experience for me.
Well, I've not been inside of the Horus Hall. I told Brent when he showed me a picture of it because I wasn't even sure. I didn't know if I'd ever even heard of it. But he showed me a picture. I said, "Oh yeah, I've parked there a million times going down to events in the Stockyards. It's just a few blocks south of Exchange Street there, like almost directly behind Little Red's Longhorn Saloon in that area."
It looks like you can just ride your horse right on up, tie up, and go on in.
There you go.
Yeehaw.
It might take you a while to get to Cleburne on a horse, but you might have to.
I ride. I actually, I haven't ridden in a long time, but I was actually 2012 Illinois Ranch Rodeo 4th place for cattle sorting.
Really?
And that is that's the most adrenaline. Think about playing a game of pool of 9-ball, right?
Yeah.
In 60 seconds or less.
Yeah.
Right? Now add horns on your cows and chaos. Like you have 2 60-foot round pens and 2 horses on one side and 10 cows on the other. As soon as you cross into that other pen, the timer starts and the judge then tells you which number is the first one you have to go for. So as soon as you cross, they tell you a number. You got to pick that cow out, and then you have to get all the rest of them over to the other side in numerical order without any trash. And you got to think these cows are related to each other and they're buddies, and you're chasing them and they're scared. And so they're going to try to run together, and you got to cut that off. And you have 60 seconds or less to get the fastest time to do it. And these we were sorting longhorn cattle.
Cynthia, you seem like you strike me as the kind of person that thrives in that place. So could you say that there might be a mild addiction to chaos? I
am the chaos coordinator. I literally had people on Facebook tell me that I need to get that shirt because they've seen, we originally, so this is how this year went. We had that show in June in Bowie, and then I had a big showcase the end of July in Burke Burnett in a park outside because that was a great idea. We all melted in 100-degree weather. We had 13 artists, 2 comedians, a magician, 16 vendors, and about 30 guests.
Sounds like a traveling.
We had to raise like $1,500 to rent the park. We did not see anything residually off of that experience, but we did, obviously, that leveraged us to be able to accomplish what we're doing. But I had talked to the city of Wichita Falls, and we had originally planned to host it in Lucy Park, but we're talking mid-November was when we were going to host it in Lucy Park, and it got colder than Christmas before October. And I was like, Cynthia's not doing this again. I'm not fighting Mother Nature. She's always going to win. I'm not doing it. And so I really was like, just, beside myself. I didn't know what to do. I'm venued out from the last experience. The last thing I want to do is deal with another venue owner. And I'm 100% transparent. So I was discouraged. I was trying to creatively think of like, can we host this online? Then the artists don't have to travel. Then everyone can watch it. Like, what do we do? And Ninja reached out and was like, hey, do you need any help with anything? And I was like, yeah, because I don't want to, with my journey, like I don't want to promote people going to venues to just get trashed and listen to music. I want to promote people going to venues to listen to music. And that's not going to happen. And like, that's why we have a private event center. So he was able to make that connection with a liaison. I've talked to the venue owner one time, very briefly. Well, maybe twice, because I did comment on a post thanking him for letting us use the venue. Banded, Destiny, absolute best experience I've ever had in 20 years of running events, because you don't have the ego and the emotions of two people trying to run something, butting heads. You have a mediator. It's literally been the best experience, because then I'm not trying to fight him to see my side of view, to compromise on things. We have Destiny. We talk to her. She relays what she needs to, puts in input where she needs to, is an amazing support for everything that I'm doing. Like literally, even if it doesn't have anything to do with the venue, if it's just some sort of inner conflict that I have with myself on a process, I just message her and she helps me tremendously. She'll either be like, yeah, Cynthia, that sounds completely not right. Like, don't do that. Or, yeah, Cynthia, but this could make it better if you approached it this way. So it's amazing to have. And like you were saying about the artist you were talking about earlier, how people either love him or hate him. I have that as well, because I'm a very blunt and forward individual, and not a lot of people can handle that. So it helps to, like, if an artist is having a problem, instead of them crying about it on social media, they can reach out to Destiny, let them know, and then she can put me in my place. And I have absolutely no problems with people doing that. If I'm in the wrong, absolutely tell me, not the world, and let's fix it.
That's a fact. Before we let you get out of here today, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Texas Brew Radio. Tell us about how you got involved with that and how people
So that originally was because of Kim Hunter. She was like, hey, Cynthia, because I was booking her, and our artists, obviously if they're on the radio, it helps that they're on the radio. And she actually was the original owner of Texas Brew Radio, and it had ended up in the hands of someone else who was doing great things with it, but they had multiple things going on and weren't able to give it the attention that was needed. And I originally had went on Texas Brew Radio as the marketing director. I originally started as the marketing director on Texas Brew Radio, and within it was less than 3 weeks, I owned the radio, because collectively it made more sense for me to take that over and give it the attention that was needed. And everybody just was in agreement. And so it started. It didn't even take us, I only owned it for a couple of weeks, and we became a charting station for the Texas Internet Radio charts. Thank you so much, Mark Sebi, for accepting me into the family. And so now we are able to help artists get recognition and titles through charting, which is amazing. Primarily, first off, I'm about to change the whole format of our station, so I'm glad that you asked that question, because primarily, like, it's hard being a radio because you get a lot of spam, a lot. Like, and some of it isn't even spam. It's just really people just really trying to support their artists, but it's repetition. And that becomes when you have an inbox that is massively just everybody wanting your time, like it becomes spam when it's repetitive information. Right. And so I had, gotten to where like I only uploaded stuff from cdtext.com, and I uploaded everything that they sent me. I didn't care what it listened to because I'm here to support the art, what it sounded like, because I'm here to support the artist. But now I am about to go on there, and because every time that I get a song, I was doing 30-second preview clips of the song, and that's so time consuming. And then I'd post them, and like maybe 1 out of 5 artists would even share the work. Like, what's the point in doing all of that if you're not supporting it? So I'm about to go through the list of artists that are on our station and get rid of all the artists that are not supporting us. They've already been notified that we're supporting them because I post their Spotify link and tag them. Like, so I'm not just supporting my radio, I'm literally sending them to the beast so that they can get recognition. And some of them aren't even liking the post. Like, so if you're not going to do your part, I'm not going to do my part. So I'm about to be playing all of the Texas charting artists, I'm going to mix in the artists that are in our competition. It was originally supposed to be a Brew, which was a multi-genre. But it never ended up that way because I didn't have time to keep up with all the emails. But now we are going to be networking with all independent radios across the country. So what I'm going to do is, let's say the radio station that we are working with in Tampa, I'm going to give you 2 of my artists. You give me 2 of your artists for this month. This month only, we're going to spend these 2 artists. And then next month, we'll pick a different 2 artists to swap out. And I'm going to do that in every state. My goal is to have multiple radio coverage in every state because we plan on moving into every state. But you know what I mean? So that is going to give a variety of music that is going to all be like something people want to listen to. Because right now my station just is all over the place. Like, there's a lot of like really like old style swing country that's been coming out. And so I'm going to reformat that. We are getting ready to have a Skinny Gets Real is a podcast, an online podcast that he's been doing some voiceovers. He is getting ready to be our full-time on-air artist or on-air DJ. After this year, in the beginning of the year, we are going to upgrade our station. I just have to find time to learn the new program and teach the new program to someone else. So after the holidays, I'm going to focus on that. But texasbrewradio.us is where you can go. It's on Live 365. You can get to it through our website or any of our artists' website. We have the footprint to listen to the radio station at the bottom of it as well.
Excellent. So make sure you go check that out and support what she's doing. Steve, that's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, we have a pretty big listener base. And like I said, I'm just looking at one portal of people chiming in, and we've got a couple of fellow DJs watching. One is Billy Bowles, who's faithful watcher of ours, who does the syndicated swinging country show every Saturday morning from 10 to noon, plays traditional country and western swing. He's a great friend of us independent artists, and his show is wildly popular. It goes all over the world. And then we have a DJ from Spain, and Miguel Ángel Diaz Gonzalez. And if I've massacred that, I apologize, Miguel. He's a good friend. He's been over here a few times. He's also a great friend to us independent artists and plays a lot of our music. But one thing I know for sure, Cynthia, is that we're going to hook you up with Dina Wood, who runs Indie Express, because you and her will become fast friends. In fact, she's watching now and she's chiming in, and she's so impressed with you and what you're doing. And you guys are kindred.
I'm just a vessel. This is God's work, not mine. I'm just.
But I'll tell you what Dina does.
The chaos coordinator.
Indie Express is one of the best friends an independent artist can have, because what Dina does is she takes your music I've told her before, and here I am paying for her services, but I said, you're too cheap for what you do. But she says, it's okay. I do it for the love. And she does, but she takes your music and if you don't have it metadated, which is so important, you got to have all the ISRC codes and all that if you're going to get credit for it. And she sends it out to I think Dina will correct me if I'm wrong, but almost 1,000 radio stations all over the world. And next thing you know, I remember when I put my first album out and first met her and put it out, next thing you know, I'm getting phone calls from DJs, in Australia wanting to interview me. It's just amazing. There's Dina, and she's a force to be reckoned with. So I have a feeling that you and Dina together are going to be really dangerous.
Right. And what's funny is that she has red hair. My boyfriend literally asked me if I was a natural redhead because of the fire in my soul. So yeah, I understand the force to be reckoned with part, and absolutely would love to network with her. And I want to say that, like, if you have a radio, I'm sending Red Dirt Proud and Bill Green's from CD Texas show to these other radios, because it makes more sense for me to send them a syndicated show that tells the listeners who the artist is and what the name of their song is before it gets played. Because if I just send them music, it's just going to get lost in the abyss. No one's going to know you're from Texas. No one's going to know what your name is. They're just going to jam onto your song whenever it pops up, and they're not even going to look it up because, hey, it's on the radio. They'll listen to it the next time it comes around. So instead of just sending them artists, I'm sending them shows. But I do want to have 2 artists a month where they extra plug. So if you have a radio show, please do not send it to me until after this weekend is finished, because I am doing my best to keep up with everything. And if I have all of that coming in, it's just going to make it harder for me to pay attention to what actually is relevant to this weekend. But Cynthia Texas Promoter at gmail.com. Send your shows. Please just send me one of them so that I can tag it and forward the one. And then if the other radios want to pick it up, then they are instructed to contact you so that they can get it on a weekly basis. Yeah,
Dina just chimed in. She goes, I upload a lot of those shows to NDX for other stations. And then she said she needs me. So we all need each other.
I need everyone. So listen, this is what I'm doing. I understand there are a lot of people out there doing the same thing. I want those people to find me. I'm not trying to trump what you're doing, and I cannot do it all. Lord knows I cannot do it all. Lord knows he has also filled my plate to the brim, and I'm trying to keep up. Like, literally, y'all know, because I tried to tune in for the show yesterday thinking it was Friday. I'm trying to keep up so much so that I put myself ahead a day. I can't do it all on my own. So if you have something amazing that you're doing for artists, tell me about it so that I can promote it. We can work together and I can send them to you, and I don't have to do it myself.
Well, Dina is going to be a huge breath of fresh air for you. Just remember, Cynthia, your plate has limitations, but God's plate is infinite. So
exactly. And I put that out there because I have reached out to amazing people, and there have been very, very few who have told me, no, we don't want to work with you. Very, very few, because they see the vision and they know that it's solid and it's genuine and it's coming from a place of passion, and they want to be a part of it. But I can say that I have had we already do all of that and we've been around for a long time kind of responses. And I just needed to clarify, like, I'm not trying to take over what you're doing. I can tell you what I'm doing. It has a lot of momentum, and that momentum isn't going to go anywhere. So if you don't want me to cast enough light that it creates a shadow, you probably want to jump out and see how you can work together, because there is a team. November 1st, I was alone on this journey. I now have an entire network. I mean, I had a network anyway, but we weren't plugged. We're plugged now. We all have the same vision. So it's not going to be something where people can pin us apart, because that's where the liaison comes in handy. Is You know, if you ask me something and you don't like the answer or you don't get an answer, go to Destiny, because she's gonna put a little fire underneath my seat, and we are gonna eliminate our emotions and figure out what is the best for the unit. Not what's the best for Cynthia and what's the best for the person that has the problem. What's the best for the unit? And I'm so business, like I am so business that I will cater to people who try to sabotage me if it is good, if it is required as a benefit for the whole. Like, I will put my feelings aside. I try not to have any animosity towards anyone ever. I don't have room for that. I have too much positive stuff to focus on. But I am very good at putting my feelings on the doormat so that we can move forward. I'm very, very good at that. Like, to the point that I've had to learn how to set some boundaries because I became the doormat. I wasn't just sitting on the doormat. But I wish people would have better communication, and I strive to try to encourage people to have better communication and to communicate from a third person perspective so that your communication isn't lost because of feelings.
Absolutely. Well, hey, we got to start wrapping things up here, but TexasStateSongwriters.com is where you want to go to find out all the information. Again, tomorrow, Horus Hall, the Texas State Songwriter Championship, and it's going to be a big time here. And again, make sure you tune in to Texas Brew Radio, and keep an eye on everything that Cynthia has going on. And Cynthia, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on all this stuff. We wish you the best of luck with it, and we can't wait to follow your journey.
Absolutely. LUCK is an acronym for laboring under correct knowledge.
There you go.
And I think we're going to be all right. I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for blessing us with this opportunity. You have no idea. Like, before we even got on the show, it opened doors. Like, literally, without you guys inviting us to the show, we wouldn't have became the admins for a group that has 25,000 people already in it that we can use to promote what's going on in Fort Worth and the music scene. So thank you guys. You have already been a huge blessing to the organization, and we look forward to more shows and more collaboration opportunities in the future.
Our pleasure. We definitely want to keep our finger on the pulse of what you're doing, and want to connect you with people like Dina Wood and other folks, because I think there's a lot that y'all can do together, and that together we're a lot stronger. Like you said, it's about the whole, everything as a whole. This thing is way bigger than any one of us, for sure. So we appreciate that, and love your attitude there and your energy, and don't let anybody get.
I'm actually missing my daughter's first ever theater performance for this, because she just got informed that she's playing Street Mary in the Christmas play at church on Saturday. And I was like, on Saturday? So the pastor's having to pick her up because mom's going to be in Fort Worth.
Well, hopefully they get some good video on that so you can at least see it.
That's what I told all my friends. I was like, if you're not coming to Fort Worth, you better be going and getting videos of my daughter so that I can watch it, because she's not happy she has to wear pink, and I definitely want to see those faces.
Those are precious moments, I know, but I'm sure you'll get other opportunities. But
it's amazing that God is working through her too, and because I homeschool, so she's watched me, and while she hasn't had a choice, she's had to deal with all of the frustrations, all of the tears, all of the positive stuff and everything. So she knows how to run events, and they have basically they use the youth and make the youth create their own events. So she has, like, basically jumped in, and she's powering a lot of church events right now with mission stuff, and it's beautiful. And you never know how much what you're doing will make an impact.
Good or positive or negative. You're right. So we have to watch that as parents, and because we're their first concept of a higher power.
We have freedom of choice. We do not have freedom of consequence.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll keep supporting everything you're doing here. Steve, you had a Fort Worth musical moment this week.
Yeah, kind of an impromptu. Well, it wasn't impromptu. This is something that had been planned for a while, but my wife Jill informed me after I'd gotten done a really heavy, hard, intense workout, and I was like, now I can go upstairs, take a shower, and relax. She goes, no, we're walking downtown to Sundance Square because there's a big tree lighting ceremony. And I'm like, oh. And of course, I'm not big on a lot of crowds, and so my picture in my mind was just standing there like sardines in the middle of thousands of people, because typically that thing's pretty crowded. But she was smart enough to get us there early to where we got right up front. So on the sound stage, they had a special program. They had a choir, interfaith choir, sing a few, some Christmas carols. And that kind of got you in the Christmas spirit. And then we had a special guest that came out and did a couple of songs. And I think we captured that on my phone. So do you have a little video you can roll of that?
We've got a video, and it's more than little. So strap in here. This was a fun time by our cameraman, Steve Markwart, man on the street here. Take a look.
Yeah, don't get seasick watching it.
I think we cleaned all that up. Here we go.
Okay, Jill and I are here for the annual downtown Fort Worth Sundance Square Christmas tree lighting ceremony. Say hi, Jill.
Hi.
And we're waiting for a magic moment when they turn the lights on the tree. And we've also got, but first, we're going to have a concert from none other than Marie Osmond. So pretty special deal. So we're down here just taking in the sights and breathing in the nice cool air and waiting for some good music and good fellowship and get a little Christmas cheer going. Say goodbye.
Oh, bye.
Bye.
You know her music. Now you know a little bit about her philanthropic efforts, her heart. Ladies and gentlemen, let's let her know the love of Fort Worth, Texas, as Marie Osmond takes the stage. Help yourself a Marie Rolling Christmas. Woo. Well, the holly, put up the tree before my spirit. That's a big tree. The stockings, I may be rushing things right. Deck the halls again now. Because I've grown a little leaner thanks to Nutrisystem. I have 9 grandkids now. Careless at the finish, that's we need a little Christmas. Right this very minute, we need a little Christmas. And to be in the world-renowned Sundance Square, I just want to thank Ed and Sasha Bass for making all of that possible. We are very grateful to them for making this whole event happen today. And Mayor Maddie Parker is here. My gosh, she's also Chief of Staff at Cook Children's Medical Center, which is one of the Children's Miracle Network hospitals that we have. And you know what they say? You want something done, ask a busy woman. Hey, Maddie! You're awesome. So let's get this party going tonight. I want to hear everyone clapping and dance. Here we go. Yeah! Turn up. Let me see you in the back. Hands up. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Sing along. All fun is to ride in rollers of the sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Giant is here to get your kids. Miles of bells while the sleigh ride. To spread good tidings. Time to the top of the Rockefeller is that big, but they have 2 trees put together. This is 1 tree, and it's the biggest in the United States.
There's our Christmas tree. There's a few lights missing up on the top.
They'll fix that.
But anyway, I think it's beautiful. One of the largest trees in the nation.
At the top.
Oh yeah, there's the top.
There's the top. What they say, it's 80 feet.
Something like that. Yeah. So anyway, Merry Christmas, everybody. Nothing like a big Christmas tree lighting and Marie Osmond concert to get you in the Christmas spirit. And we're so glad we came. So God bless everybody. See y'all later. Bye.
Beautiful. Well, that couldn't have been the real Santa because he wasn't wearing a Stetson. I thought she was going to pull you up to sing there for a second.
No, I was trying to get some candy. I never got the candy. Everybody kept stealing it from me. But yeah, Santa was kind of wearing his beard a little closely cropped. Maybe it's a new brand makeover. But you know, I thought it was great. I grew up, of course, with the Osmonds, you know, and so at my age, a lot of guys had a crush on her, and most of the girls had a crush on her brother Donnie, you know, in that bubblegum phase. That, you know, either that or Michael Jackson, and you know, Donnie Osmond and Michael Jackson were always vying for the top spot as a teen idol. But you know, I was really impressed with her singing. She sounded great, as you can tell, especially that last number. She really held those notes really well, and she looks great. And she's doing a lot of cool charity stuff. She's behind this thing, and they just installed these machines down in Sundance Square called the Giving Machine, I think is what it is. And you go on this thing, and it's like this screen, and I haven't checked them out firsthand. I'm going to go down there when it's less crowded, but there's all these different charities that you can choose and make donations to right on that machine safely and securely. So really a cool deal. I know she does a lot for Cook's Children's Hospital because it's part of the network that she does fundraising for. So she's very active in that. You know, that whole family, that Osmond family, are good people. I mean, they come from strong Christian background, and so anyway, it was a nice deal. You know, it really, you know, when you're around that many people and you got all that going on, you can't help but get in the Christmas spirit. So that's exactly what I needed. And, you know, and of course, Jill, it was obvious she felt like I needed a lot of coaching as I went along too. But
kept you on track.
I've often said she's my adult supervision. So, you know,
she does it well.
I just want to remind the artists that you don't have to be a contestant to come and take advantage of the networking and exposure opportunity. I do want to have our contestants only as far as radio interviews from at least the first hour from 6 to 7. But if you're an artist in the area or you want to drive to the area, we literally have artists driving from the Midwest that have bought tickets to the show so that they can come down and network. If you're an artist local in the area, come in at 7, grab a ticket and come in at 7 and just support the artists that are in the show, see what we're about, get a format so that you know what's going on next year, and join us and get that exposure. We have Born and Bred, Outlaw Television Network, Fishbowl Radio Network. Fishbowl Radio Network alone has over 3 million listeners every month. So it is a good opportunity, but I just want to let them know that it's not just about the contestants, it's about artists in general, and we're celebrating them this weekend.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you go and check that out. Steve, any last words before we get out of here?
Well, you know, a lot going on with Clarksville Creative Sound. We're of course, Kurt's got somebody in the studio almost every day. And we're excited about what's happening there. We're gearing up for our big concert February 3rd, which is coming up quickly. We met yesterday with the manager of National Hall to talk more about what that's going to look like. And we then selected a bunch of dates past February 3rd, and we'll be announcing kind of a whole calendar of regular concerts that we're going to be doing at National Hall. And we're working with Chuck Morris and Ruth Stuckey, who have All-Star Entertainment. They're one of the promoters on this deal, the main promoters. And the good news for me is that Chuck is handling all the ticket portal stuff, because that gets pretty involved, because we're talking about different levels of seating, you know, VIP and different classes of tickets and things like that. And so that kind of stuff makes my ADD brain explode. So I'm so grateful that Chuck's willing to take that off my hands. So I'm excited about that. We've got Clarksville Creative Sound is doing great. Of course, a lot of things going on. We're working on the TV show with this new network, American Country Network, that's launching first quarter next year out of Nashville. And so we're excited about that. And a lot of cool things in the works. So, that's the big picture anyway. I could go on and on and on, but we don't have time. So.
Absolutely. Well, we'll circle back around next week. I have a commitment. I'm going to be out of pocket. We've recorded a couple special shows. We'll probably throw one of those at you next week here, and be back in 2 weeks as we get ready to set things up for the holidays. Make sure you come back and check. If you missed any portion of the show, it automatically archives online, so you can go check that out. And we thank everybody who joined us today. Make sure you go follow, if you haven't already, the Texas State Songwriter Championship Facebook page, or Texas Brew Radio. Make sure you go follow all that. The Rural Strong Media Facebook page. What else did we got? The Clarksville Creative Sound Facebook group, and also this Fort Worth Musical Moments Facebook group. We share a lot of information on those pages, so you're going to want to be plugged in so you can catch all the latest.
What about Kurt Ryle's Road Stories page? Are y'all?
That's a good question. We got to figure out what happened with old Kurt. I think he's holding back on us. All the stories. We haven't pinned any more of those down.
Well, if he starts telling stories and I'm involved, they're all lies. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I believe that's probably right. Not sure. Yeah. On that note,
I was trying to take a drink of water.
Okay,
and that video popped up.
That video is kind of disturbing. That was my partner, who's my producer. He's got a recording studio in Nashville, a suburb of Nashville, Clarksville, and I talked him into wearing a wig because the theme of that song is a guy's laying in bed and he hears his significant other talking in her sleep, and she's calling out a name, and it's not his name, it's somebody else's name. So anyway,
I was good until I caught the mustache, and then I was almost not good.
It's very disturbing. And, Kurt hates it that and Brent's got that on a hot button. So every time Kurt's on the show, we pop that up, and Kurt just goes, "Oh."
It would have. The only thing that would have made that better is if the mustache was thicker, like that Super Trooper mustache that all the Air Force guys are rocking right now.
So we have a lot of fun, though. So yeah,
that's your point. Stay tuned on Kurt Ryle's Road Stories. We'll get back on track with those one of these days. Kurt's a busy man these days, but it's all to the good because he is cranking out a lot of great music out of his studio in Clarksville, Tennessee. And I know we've got a Steve Marquardt project coming up here relatively soon. A lot of other great stuff. He's been working with Brian Moon and Lonnie Bartmus and some others. So be paying attention after the first of the year. A lot of good stuff dropping. We're going to let everybody get out of here. Steve, any other last thoughts?
Well, we're going to let everybody know we should be live with the ticket portal any day now. I wish I could give you a definite date, but I'm counting on Chuck to put that together. But as soon as we have that live, y'all will be the first to know. We'll put it out there in whatever way we can, and we want to pack that place, and we want to get sponsors to come in and help sponsor the whole series, because we're going to be branding this whole series at National Hall. We want to make National Hall one of the go-to places for great country music, and not just country music. We're going to be experimenting and doing all kinds of things in there. We are talking about bringing in all kinds of different genres of music, and I think it's going to be interesting, because if you think about Western swing, which is what I've been focusing on lately, it's an amalgamation of all these different styles of music. So we're going to be doing some really cool things. We may even have a big band swing night, more like a Sinatra type thing one night, which would be a lot of fun, because that's what I'm a crooner at heart anyway, and that's so you never know, but we're working on some cool plans there, and we want everybody to come and enjoy that. The great thing about National Hall is not only the ambiance of the hall itself and that brand new sound system that we put in, sound and stage lighting system that we put in. And anyone that went to the Western Swing Festival a couple of weeks ago, the birthplace of Western Swing Festival, will tell you that the whole experience there is so much better with this new sound system and the new lighting system. But the hall itself has more than ample parking, and it's free parking. And it's very RV friendly as well. So so it's the best of all worlds there, and great food and very reasonable drink prices there. Full bar. John Durham cooks up a lot of great food, barbecue and all kinds of other things. So it's a definitely a one-stop place to come and experience a great night of music, food, and fellowship.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, we are going to slide out of here, let everybody else get on with their day. Thank you again so much for tuning in, and we'll be back here. Make sure you watch for the recorded show next week. You're not going to want to miss that. 2 weeks, we'll be back doing it live here as we get you ready for Christmas. But for Cynthia Anderson, for Steve Markward, it's Brent Adams. Keep riding tall in the saddle and make it a great week, everybody.
Thank you.
You've been watching Fort Worth Musical Moments, a production of Rural Strong Media and Clarksville Creative Sound, copyright 2023. Please join the Fort Worth Musical Moments Facebook group and join us each Friday at 10 a.m. Central as we introduce you to another key figure in Fort Worth's musical heritage.